Did you ever see a shirt in the store? You're like, I would never wear this fucking shirt. But when you put it on, it looks pretty good. It's like this shirt, you know? It's like it don't look so bad. I hope that if my dick is in the, I guess there might be a shot of my dick in there. I think when I was like pulling my pants up, I hope it didn't fucking. I don't need a cop or a fucking strike like that against me. And the camera's facing this way, so it looks like I'm really fat, but I'm not. That's my gut. That's my shit. You can kiss it if you want, baby. I can do that. Yes, baby. Who wants to have lunch with me? It doesn't even matter. Yes, bitch. I would love to fuck any one of you bitches that I think is always at my channel. I would love to hang out with you. Are you crazy? You can promise your husband or whatever if you have a husband. I don't know, but you can promise him if you have a husband that I promise I'm not gonna fucking I won't take advantage of your wife, dude. I just want to hang out with somebody. All right. There you go. Whoops. Somebody wanted me to talk about Corvettes. That was like, Corvettes were one of my favorite bands ever that I was in, because it wasn't my band. It was like, they called him the Mexican. I don't know if he knew that, but they still call him that, the Mexican. That's Danny. It was Danny's band, the Corvettes. It was one of the greatest fun time shindigs fucking ever. It was these kids were like, you had Danny was like 7 foot tall without the creepers, and he wore like these plastic shoes with the heels like this with creepers. So did my other band, the Erotics. I never got a pair. I was gonna get a pair though. I was a devotee of that shit. Just this glam rock, just this dirty Schenectady glam rock, Albany glam rock. It was disgusting. And Danny was the secret guy behind it, because Danny was flipped out. He was on his own trip. I never met a dude like him. He was from New York City, and I was in love with his sister first, Michelle. She was fucking the long hair Mexican bitch, just creme de la creme of bitches. Then I met Fernando, his brother, who was just a geeky, cool as fuck dude, but he was just a geeky, into anime before anime was cool. We're talking 30 years ago. And he was into Tetsu Iron Man, and he was into Battle Angel Ultima. He knew all the shit. He was just cool. And then I finally met Danny when I was older, because I had taken his place in the Erotics. Me and Danny lived on the same street too, so we just formed this band, the Corvettes. He used to come over to my apartment. He was a very cool cat. He didn't talk too much. He worked at the library. I think he still does. I'm gonna go down there and see his ass. And he just had these ideas that he was like this Buddy Holly. When I think of Buddy Holly, I think of Danny. It's fucked up when I think of Buddy Holly. And people always assume Buddy Holly with me, and that's not even how it is. When I think of Buddy Holly, I think of fucking Danny, because he was like that. And you'd see him coming, and you kind of get a chill, because he was just cool looking cat. He had the dyed black hair, and he looked a lot like Richard Ramirez to me at the time. But I joined his band, and he's talking about 19. He's like, let's call our group the Corvettes, after Sling Rave Corvette, Big Daddy Rothschild. Sling Rave Corvette. We're the Corvettes. I'm like, I'll be Rudy 2 times then. I want to join this fucking band. The best songs, Danny secretly wrote all the shit. He wrote the filler. I love Mick. I'll get to him. But Danny wrote the filler, and he was just a pleasure to work with. And he had been around the world. Danny's thing was too, I remember about him, is he had this super nice apartment on J Street. He had super nice threads. He had guitars that would melt your fucking brain. He had a Futurama that he got, 1962 baby blue Futurama. I watched him unwrap this shit in front of Ambition Coffee Shop fucking 25 years ago. It came in the mail, and he's unwrapping the shit, and it's a guitar, just unscrewed, right? A fucking Futurama. And he took it home, and he took it apart right in front of me, and me and my girlfriend were standing there on pills like, oh my fucking god. He had money. He had I don't know how he did it or who taught him how to do it, but he had a lot of bitches. He had library bitches, all kinds of bitches that were secretly funding him. He didn't work. He just worked like, but that was his group, and and then he wrote Futurama, and then he would pull it out at live shows, like a Toys R Us gun, because he was a big toy collector, just like Mick. They had walls of toys and Japanese toys. That was their thing. And he'd pull out this ray gun live during Futurama. I met a space girl along the way, and he'd put it up to the pickups like Eddie Van Halen and make the shit go through the amp. I seen the Futurama, and I don't think I wanna. It's like, yeah, dude. And I'm back there playing drums. I'm like, everybody's. And I remember there'd be graffiti on Westgate Plaza. Like Mike Trasher, one of his buddies, put it on. It's like, Rudy 2 times does everything. Corvettes aren't a real group. And it's like, no, that's not even true in this group. That might have been true for the Miserable shit, but that wasn't even true in the Corvettes because we really played. We really did that shit. And there was a big fight over Barbie too, because it's like, because Mike Trash had Gas Chamber Barbie. Nobody knows where that came. We were all around for that, but nobody really knows what the fuck Mike meant by that, because it was before all bullshit and all that. It was just an oldie he had. I remember playing that with Jamie. Gas Chamber Barbie was in our set list. We had a lot of songs we played. We played almost 35 songs, I think. That was just our side shit. That was me and Melibot's father. We did those tours, and we did a lot of heinous shit that we were lucky we got away with. But that was a relationship. It was a cross relationship between the Erotics and the Corvettes. How the Corvettes were basically all ex-Erotics guys. But I was a Corvette before I was an Erotic, I think. Yeah, because the Corvettes had broken up for almost 4 years, and we came back on New Year's 2002 with Barbie Don't Have Bruises. You know, and that pissed Mike off, because maybe it would me at the time too, because Mike was like, no, everybody knows Gas Chamber Barbie's my thing, but everybody wanted to be Mike too. I know I did. I wanted to be Mike Trash. I still do. If I'm gonna do something cool, I want to do it like Born to Destroy. I want to do it like that. And Danny, he was telling me about what it was like recording the rough tracks on Born to Destroy. Danny's tracks, like, funny enough, survived a lot of those post-rough mix because they mixed Born to Destroy guitar-wise so many fucking times. So many times, dude. And you had even this dude, Will, that played on it too, that I didn't even get to meet, but it was this guy, Michelle's brother, and he had done, there's a lot of guitars on there. I think there might even be Henry too, someone said, but I didn't hear that especially. Henry's very distinctive, but I mean that tells you, it's like who wrote Chinese Rocks? It's like the myth with that. It's like, who wrote that? It's like Dee Dee wrote that, but that's what it was, dude. The thing with my band, I'll tell you on another day. I don't know if I can even. I'm gonna get a beer though. That's what I'm gonna do.